Hello and welcome to Metalmadnessweekly interviews. Today we have Midas Royal with us. He's a New Yorker, singer-songwriter. And let's go straight. Midas Royal music has been compared to and is heavily influenced by an array of musically diverse artists including Soundgarden, Chris Cornell, Radiohead, Gabriel, Peter Murphy and Echo and the Bunnymen, amongst others. Midas Royal has new single out, One Step Closer, and he will be releasing new tracks and new singles every month from November to March 2025. So here is the interview with Midas Royal.
Hello, Metalmadnessweekly. My name is Midas Royal and I'm a rock singer-songwriter from New York City. Been making music professionally for about 4 years now. I've been releasing music as both an artist and for sync licensing opportunities. The genres of music that I predominantly work in are rock, alternative rock, hard rock, and metal. My journey started about 4 years ago. I started making music professionally during the pandemic, starting in March of 2020. And during that time, I was very prolific with my writing. I was very fortunate and lucky to collaborate with and co-write a lot of songs with different artists from both here in the United States and around the world. Predominantly folks from Los Angeles, Wisconsin, Rhode Island. I work with a songwriter based in Scotland, and another guy I work with a lot is from Australia, and we've been continuing down that songwriting path ever since. So feeling really lucky, but I'm super excited to continue on with Midas Royal and this project, and I'll tell you more about that here soon. Okay, second question. Tell us about the process of how you make a song from start to finish. So usually a song for me starts by a vibe. If I'm feeling a vibe or if I'm hearing a hook or a melody, I need to explore that. And what I'll usually do is pick up an acoustic guitar, or sometimes I'll even write something on a keyboard. And sometimes it's not even about that. Sometimes it's just I'll hear a hook or a melody and I'll sing it onto my cell phone, the same one I'm recording this video from. And then I'll take that rough and I'll send it to one of my co-writers, and they'll usually put together an entire composition. We'll put in an intro, a verse, a pre-chorus, a chorus, or whatever that song needs to start the process to create an instrumental bed. Once that process is complete, I'll get back that instrumental bed and I'll set up my digital audio workstation, my microphone, and I'm ready to go. If I get into the vibe of that song, I don't typically write lyrics. I'll write right in the moment and what I'm feeling. So those emotions come through in a very raw form through the recordings that I do. And then that process usually takes several hours. And it's a really magical moment for me. I would like to say that I focus all my efforts predominantly on coming up with hooks and syncing my vocals and lyrics into that vibe. Once that's done, the song gets reassembled. I'll send it back to the co-writer or co-writers in some cases. They'll put back in some more instrumental pieces or other things that they believe are missing. And then I'll come back and sing over it, usually just a second time. And that will then finish out that song. I'll come back and re-sing the parts. And then I'll send it over to my mixer. I work with a mixer based here in the United States out of the state of Maine, Portland, Maine to be exact. And then once the mix happens, it'll go over to my mastering contact, and he'll take it from there, and then the song is usually complete. But that's the process I've been working a lot lately in. We just finished together 38 songs over the last 4 years, so it's been working, and I've been really excited about doing all that. Okay, third question. What bands, artists are your biggest influences and why? That's really easy for me. My favorite band is Soundgarden, and certainly Chris Cornell. I love Chris Cornell's voice. He's an incredible singer and songwriter. He was. And he could sing, I think, as many as 4 octaves. His vocal range was insane. And as a vocalist, I really appreciate his music even more now, and how hard it is to sing some of the things that he did. But I'm also a big fan of the drop tuning of their guitars, that sound. It's just incredible. I'm a big fan of Matt Cameron, the drummer. They've written some incredible music in these weird time signatures like 7/4 and 15/8. It's incredible. I love their album, Bad Motorfinger, Super Unknown, and Down on the Upside. And I was a big fan of also Terry Date, who is the producer of the record Bad Motorfinger. So that's my first artist. Second artist is Tool. Outright, I just love Maynard James Keenan. The dude is incredible. And the band is so heavy. I just love the how it all comes together. It's incredible. Big fan of Danny Carey, the drummer. His polyrhythmic drumming patterns, sick. Also, I would say my favorite albums are Undertow, Opiate, 10,000 Days. And I recently really liked their Fear Inoculum album. It's killer. If you haven't heard it, definitely check it out. I'm a big fan of also Joe Barresi, who's the mixer on the last record that they did. And then my newest favorite band is this band out of Los Angeles called 3 Teeth. These dudes are sick. If you haven't heard them, check them out. They sound kind of like Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, and Marilyn Manson all mushed together, but they're so heavy. If you get a chance, check out the song Slum Planet and Higher Than Death. Next question, what's the best song that you've done from a production standpoint? Tell us a story behind it. So I released a song earlier this year called One Step Closer. It's by far my favorite song. Super heavy. It's got a cool synthy atmosphere, and the drums are really heavy as well. I worked on this track with two different co-writers, one from Australia and one from upstate New York. These are two guys I've actually worked on a few tracks with as well before. But what was cool about this was I had this idea that maybe we could pitch this for a video game opportunity for a video game like Doom, for example. And what ended up happening is I just fell in love with the track, so I wanted to release it. But what was nice about this was that I started with a vibe, like I always do, and I was able to say, let's start with the synthesizer. So Craig created this cool atmosphere on the synthesizer, and then had that track over to the guitar player, who just threw down some really ripping chords, and like the tone on his guitar is amazing on this track. And then we sent it out to a drummer in Los Angeles who I worked with quite a bit, who's just insane. And once that track came back to me, it was very easy for me to get into the vibe of the song. These guys have done a tremendous job writing something that I could really sink my teeth into vocally and lyrically. And this song really started to take on its own life. There's a lot happening in Israel and Palestine right now that was the inspiration behind the lyrics of this song. So I really wanted to get that across in the lyrics. But it all came together relatively quick. If you haven't heard it yet, definitely check out One Step Closer. It is by far one of my favorite tracks to date. Check it out. Okay, next question. Where's your music in 5 years? I continue to plan on writing, co-writing, collaborating, working with other musicians and producers, and also releasing music. I've been lucky where I've been able to release about 10 tracks a year. So, another 40, 50 songs over the next 4 to 5 years. I'll keep up with the writing side of it, and also, I'd like to get more into the performing side of the business. I've done a little bit of that, but I want to explore that a little bit further moving forward. Maybe there's an opportunity to get connected with some festivals, maybe somewhere in Finland, maybe in Europe or around the world, I don't know. But definitely want to start working more on the performance side of the business as well. Fourth question, is there new music coming out for your band and project? In fact, there is. I have 5 new songs coming out. I'm going to be releasing the first one at the end of this month, Friday, November 29th. I'm also releasing a song in December. That also comes out at the end of the month in December. I'm releasing a song in January, February, and March. 1 song per month over those next 5 months. Those songs are actually re-released under another project that I had called Hunting with Eagles. So I'm actually just re-releasing those tracks as a Midas Royal. track now. I wrote those songs with my good friend Chris Roy a couple years ago, but these are really hard rock songs that I'm really proud of, and I'm excited to re-release them as Midas Royal. Big shout out for Metalmadnessweekly and the folks that listen to all the different channels. It's a killer station. You gotta go check it out. And if you haven't heard, there's so many great independent bands that are being released there. And thank you. I just want to say thank you from myself and the guys that I write with for picking up our tracks and getting some exposure. So we're really appreciative of that. And we just want to say, look, just keep up what you guys are doing. I want to see more of these independent rock bands coming out. It's so cool to see that, you know, rock music is still alive around the world. And I've never been to Finland, but maybe someday I'll get a chance to come over there. And if I do, I'd love to be playing for y'all. So just a big shout out to you guys, and rock on.
You were watching Metal Madness Interviews. New episode is coming out next week. Interviews by Tommy Bergoski from Metal Madness Weekly.